Now, I'm the sort of person who will open any Christmas or birthday present early, just in case I get more and I can prolong the excitement that little bit longer. More frustratingly for my husband, I'm also the type who immediately told friends we had our offer accepted on our dream home. And yes, I knew nothing was binding until exchange, and even then, but in this case, I was determined that as it absolutely was our dream home, if that dream was to reach a rude awakening, I was going to squeeze every last drop of happiness out of the hope that I could. And then maybe, just maybe, there would actually be even more happiness when it did all work out. Almost a year on since doing that, I can certainly say we're in, we're here, and we all love it. So, why do we fear happiness? Why do we tell ourselves, don't jinx it, and hold back? Well, it's because we tend to think that happiness is dependent on something external. One of my key coaching messages is happiness is a state, not a goal. Achievement or outside occurrences can help, but why sacrifice joy until then? Simply choose to be happy right now. Because, ironically, seriously, if there ever was a time that happiness and positivity is needed, it's now. And I don't mean a look on the bright side platitude. I mean making genuine attempts to allow ourselves the pleasure of happiness when we can and as much as we can. So, here are my tips. Number 1, engage in little acts of practical mindfulness to build positive experiences, such as really focusing on the tastes and textures of the food you eat, noticing the warmth of the sun on your skin as you walk outside, appreciating the sweet scent of flowers or freshly cut grass, knowing you've already taken your hayfever tablet. Yes, happiness can be wise too. I'm lucky. You've seen my little dog. She brings me a lot of happiness all the time. In encouraging small moments of happiness, we also begin to build up our resilience in case of future disaster. We've got those reserves within us. Tip number 2, positive affirmations. Now, this is not simply because of the power of the law of attraction, but the psychological approach reminds us that we love coincidences, so much so we tend to look for them. So why not prime your mind to look for something positive rather than the opposite? And one of my favorites is, I deserve to be happy. Tip number 3, welcoming happiness does not mean don't be sad. You're allowed to do that too. In fact, you recognize happiness more if you also accept the down days. Just remember, clouds will pass, but so do sunny days. Therefore, in those times, why look for the rain? To try and stop overthinking raining on my parade, if something affects me, here's my tip. If I can't deal with it there and then, I write it down and then come back to it at a later time when I'm less emotional. The beauty of doing this is that writing it down means you don't keep going over and over it in your brain, which makes it bigger and bigger. But it means you do remember to deal with it, but you can do so at a time of your choosing rather than forget it and get dragged back into looking at it when you least expect. Happiness is also active. Tip number 4, and this is probably one of my favorites. Think about who replenishes your happiness and seek to spend more time with them. I practice gratitude daily to focus on what I have right now, but I also take note of who and what appears on my appreciation list most often. Then I try and see them more. Those who don't appear, see those a little less. There's nothing wrong with editing your life. Being energized by the people or things that you love means you're better emotionally equipped to deal with what is proving to be a very challenging world. So today, do one thing that makes you smile. Get in touch with one person who energizes you. Even tell them, because happiness can be contagious. And if you had fun, remember that's okay. You have permission to be happy.